I want to ask a question to all of you guys who are watching. When was the last time you felt truly curious about something? Not a notification, not a reel, not a movie. When was the last time you saw something in the real world and you felt curious to know about it? When someone asks a question, when a topic comes up, when was the last time you guys were curious to know about it, to deep dive about it? Many will think that yes, we are curious about it because they have protected their inner child. But many, oh fucking hell, man, these guys, can't blame them. I'm on the road right now. But so the death of wonder. What is this topic? Death of wonder. What is it? Death of wonder simply means the lack of curiosity that has developed in us because we are so occupied in the real life. We can't blame anyone else. We can't blame that, oh, it's your fault that you didn't protect your inner child. But it's time that we stay awake right now. It's time that we wake up and actually work on something that actually makes us curious about, that makes us wonder about things. When was the last time you guys stopped at something, saw something, and then just went like, wow, and then deep dived on that topic? When was that last time? I genuinely want to ask this question because it has happened with me also. Today, people say in this generation many major things that are killing our generation. AI, not all of it. Of course, AI is a very helpful tool. We all know that, but people are afraid of AI. People are afraid of the technologies. People are afraid of the deforestation and all of those stuff. But the very root cause of all of it, it's not the they are not the big dangers. The biggest danger in humanity right now is the lack of wonder, in especially in our generation, especially the young generation. The lack of wonder actually makes you a robot, because a human is a curious creature. When you see a leaf, when you see a tree, when you see an oddly shaped tree, when you see an oddly shaped animal, you are bound to feel curious about it. You are bound to deep dive into that topic. But nowadays we are not. We are simply not. Of course, I get it that we don't have that much of free time that to just wander across the street, look around animals. But every now and then, I think we should protect that inner child. I think we should protect the child that went nuts when he first discovered what Himalaya is, went nuts when he first discovered what Amazon forest is. I'm talking about myself right now because I was so curious about forests, wildlife, mountains, and all of those stuff. That and actually somehow, some way, some part of that child is still in me. Some part of that child still wants to be, deep dive in some topics. But of course, life gets by, and we don't get that much of time that than what we had when we were child. But in those busy schedules, and all of those stuff, I think we should find at least an hour to engage in topics that actually make us curious about. Now, the biggest question is, where did the wonder go? If we were raised properly, if we actually didn't feel that we had any problem growing up or any experiences that made us feel like we have left our inner child behind, then where did this curiosity, where did this wonder actually go? The answer is very simple. The answer is the modern problems. The answer is shorter lifespans. Sorry. The answer is shorter attention spans. The answer is instant answers that you take from Google and AI. And I get it that nowadays people don't have that much of time to actually go deep dive into some topics, certain topics, and AI can be really helpful for that. But at least I feel that for some topics, you should actually sit down with a notebook, a pen, a laptop, with 5 to 6 tabs open of different Wikipedias, different archaeological surveys. I'm talking about history at this point, but it can be any topic, YouTube is a very good form of getting information and learning, because there are millions and millions of videos about a topic that you're curious about, that you're interested in. My point of proving all of this is that we have made curiosity a luxury when curiosity was normalized in our childhood, and now curiosity is just a luxury, which is wrong. I feel we should be curious about something because that's what makes us human. That is the ultimate reason what makes us human. Curiosity actually drives us and drives our imagination to create big things. anything it can be. It can be technology, it can be archaeology, it can be history, mystery, mythology, religion, politics, but again at your own risk. All of this stuff, you should be curious about something. A human should be curious about something. Now, if you ask, why is curiosity worth protecting? Why is curiosity worth protecting? Why should we die for it? Why should we actually protect our inner child? And why am I making this video all about, and why it is so important? I'll give you a very reasonable answer that will convince you to protect your inner child and actually be curious about something. Sir, why curiosity is so declining and it is so dangerous is very simple. Let's take an example of science. Let's take an example of art. Let's take an example of anything that you see in the world that as human has invented. A car, a bike that you like, a plane business class experience that you love, or any other thing that a human has invented or the nature has invented. Everything has started from curiosity. The car that you see right now has started developing from curiosity and science. Science also starts from curiosity. The bike you see has developed by curiosity. Everything, every human invention, the thing that I'm recording on the phone, my phone right now, is also a product of curiosity. Now, why is it dangerous? When we stop asking questions, when we stop asking the why and the what, creativity declines. We can't actually enjoy life. When we are just robots, when maniacs, waking up at 5 a.m., doing our daily routine, going to a job or going to your business or whatever that you do for a living, coming home and then sleeping and repeating the whole thing again, why in the world is life worth living? Imagine or picture this, your future 10 years from now. You're waking up, going to a specific place, earning money, coming back, sleeping, repeat for the rest of your life. Why in the hell are we living? Why in the hell are we living if we are living such a life? This is where curiosity comes in. This is where in our daily life, anything, a bird that we see while walking, a tiger that we see in the YouTube videos or a jungle safari, a article that we read about extraterrestrial lives or archaeology findings, a discovery of science, and any article that we read, a news that we read about animals and wildlife and conservation and deforestation. All of these things trigger curiosity in our brain, and this is where we start asking the why and the what. And when we start asking why and what, we start getting answers. When we start getting answers, our brain expands. Our brain expands into different pathways. Different pathways lead to different opportunities, and different opportunities lead to different life experiences. And life is all about experiences. What the hell are you going to do? What hell are you going to do when you're 60 and you look back at life? You just lived life like a robot. And actually, at this point, nobody lives completely like a robot. Everybody knows that we need some sort of enjoyment. I'm not talking just about enjoyment here, but I'm talking about the daily routine, which is bored when you look from a third person perspective. If you are living a life which is just directed by 9 to 5, you have weekend holidays, you go for a movie, that's it, or maybe a short trek or something like that, that's it. Many people would be convinced with that life, like, okay, we are happy with that life, fine with that, no worries, you can quit the video here, leave, no worries about that. So now I talked about how important curiosity is, what the wonder, that of wonder, the topic. I explained it, and I explained why important it is to protect your inner child. Now I'll give you a simple trick to protect your inner child, an answer to all of this question that will lead you to asking better questions. Simple tricks, again, as I said, go for a walk without phones, without headphones, no digital stimulation, nothing. Go. Because when you go for a walk, you got no stimulation. You force your body, you force your mind to interact with people, you force your mind to interact with nature. Leave the phone for 30 minutes. If you cannot stay for 30 minutes, leave the phone for 20 minutes in another room, D&D switched off. Sit alone in the room completely with yourself. And it might be difficult for some people who have experienced traumatic experience in the past, because that, constant that instant de-stimulation to your brain, and when your brain is completely empty, those dark thoughts, those intrusive thoughts, those traumatic thoughts start to lead and start to creep in. But at least try with 5 minutes, try with 10 minutes, because what happens is that when you stop stimulating your brain, stop stimulating your body with the digital things, you force your mind to explore what is around you. If you go for a walk, you can explore the insect that you discover in you. And now it's not necessary that all of these things will lead a better career, better life, but one day, one day I guarantee you, when you start asking such things, because this is just a start. So when you go for a walk, when you force your brain to interact with humans, that at that very day will, at the first day, will not lead to exponential opportunities that will transform your career. No, but when you start things like that, when you start destimulating your brain and stimulate it with the nature, stimulate it with the real human interactions, with curiosity, you start asking questions, you develop new topics to research for, you expand your knowledge, and fourth is, you never know when the opportunity shows up. An opportunity can show up for your career that will transform when you're sitting in a cafe or in a park, taking a walk in a park. But for that, you have to go out. You have to be curious enough to put your phone down and search for answers in the real world. So that is why curiosity is important, and that's how you can do it. Read a book. Let's say any book, a comic. Get a book from Amazon, anything, and just read it. Start reading it, complete it, and set a target that I'll complete it in 7 days or 14 days or 30 days. Set a target, complete it, and review what you read. It is not possible that you cannot learn something. It is not possible that you cannot find a topic that drives you curious. The most important thing that you can do to awaken your question asking ability, to ask better questions, is start reading history. Start deep diving into history. When you do that, you have an completely different world to explore, completely different world to gain new possibilities, gain learning of some new lessons, and just expand your way and horizon of life of what you are seeing right now. When you deep dive into history, you start asking questions about the events that happened, and then eventually that things, that leads to asking better questions in life, and better questions gives you better opportunities. भाई मैं जब रील्स देखता हूँ ना ऐसे कि मुझे इंस्टाग्राम पे कभी कभी और यूट्यूब पे भी कभी कभी वो रील्स आती है कि लाइफ इन 2017 इट वाज वेरी वाइब्रेंट, लाइफ इन 2015 it was very vibrant, and life in 2026 it has become dark and shallow and all of those stuff. Scientifically, if you speak कि हाँ भाई थोड़ा I guess, मतलब मैंने ऐसा कहीं पे पढ़ा था that as we age, our vibrant capacity of seeing the world, how vibrantly we see the world, kind of declines, something like that. Don't quote me on this, I just read it. But भाई ये है इस वजह से because we have stopped asking questions. भाई तुम अगर 2015 में if you were a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, talking from the perspective of a guy who is 18-year-old right now, he was 7-year-old, 8-year-old in 2015, I'm talking like that. But according to your age you can, आप अपना era adjust कर सकते हो. लेकिन भाई 2015 में 2016 में तुम क्यूरियस थे, तुम जाते थे बाहर, तुम देखते थे, तुम पहाड़ों पे तो नहीं लेकिन पेड़ों पे तो चढ़ते थे, तुम खेतों में जाते थे, तुम कहीं पर रिवर साइड यूज्ड टू सिट, यूज्ड टू observe a frog, used to be curious, I used to be scared shitless about snakes, but when I used to see, I will be very raw and real. जहाँ पे मैं रहता था वहाँ पे आगे एक ground था, it was a playground where we used to play cricket, and there were, because it was connected to the farm, there were many snakes that used to roam there, और बहुत सारे ऐसे मरे हुए सांप पड़ते रहते थे वहाँ पे जब हम खेलते थे. We were scared shitless about that, but भाई हम इतने curious थे उसके लिए because we were used to observe it. उन सांपों को हम देखते थे like how, and we used to pick up the decayed skin of the snakes with sticks and all. We used to observe the very little things, but that eventually led me, as I'm an 18-year-old, that eventually led me to asking bigger questions of why and what, asking better questions. और भाई यही तो है life. When you start asking better questions, you get exposed into a better new world that you never knew existed, और वहाँ से opportunities खुली होती है. So start asking questions. because and stop giving that excuse कि भाई 2015-16 में world was very good, 2008-10 में world was very good. I can say that yes, modernization ज़्यादा होने के कारण some people might feel कि यार the raw element, the human element of the world has gone. But भाई future is still coming. Future is not waiting for anyone. If you are saying this in 2026, 2050 में तो क्या होगा? So stop giving those excuses and start protecting your inner child, because that is what important, and that will lead you to exponential growth, lead you to a fulfilled, satisfied life. Or bhai, what is the purpose of living like a robot? What is the purpose of living like a robot? Nothing. इसलिए भाई curiosity is the thing that gives a meaning to life. Start asking better questions. Start asking good questions. Or even dumb questions, because dumb questions eventually make your way up to better questions. Start asking better questions, and yeah, peace out. I might not have articulated my points very aptly, very properly as you expected it to from a YouTuber who, who is far more experienced than me. Again, as I'm uploading videos, I can feel that yes, I am more confident and more fluently speaking in front of the camera or directly talking to the lens. So yeah, that is a benefit for me, and eventually you guys will see as I post more videos कि भाई हाँ इसके experiences से this guy has improved about his articulation skills and all of those stuff. So yeah, the next time we deep dive into some good topics, my articulation skills will be improved from the past videos. So yeah, that is the video, Death of the Wonder. I'll see you in the next one.